Hey everyone, and welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are breaking down a highly practical, deeply insightful toolkit originally shared by entrepreneur and creator Raj Shamani. Look, if you're in your 20s, or honestly, if you're navigating literally any major transitional phase in your life right now, you've probably felt the crushing weight of procrastination, the anxiety of making big decisions, or that incredibly frustrating feeling of just being entirely stuck. Well, Raj brings some fantastic hard-earned wisdom on how to overcome these exact hurdles. We're going to unpack his insights step by step and organize them into a clear, visual playbook that you can actually start using today.
All right, let's dive right into this. Here's the structure of our playbook for today. Needs versus wants, fixing your own red flags, conquering decision paralysis, the 1-minute rule, embracing the stuck phase, and finally, daily fixes and helping others.
Section 1. Needs versus wants. The generational gap.
So, here's the very first hurdle Raj points out, and it's a dangerous one. It's this total confusion between what we actually need to progress and what we simply want. Just think about our parents' generation for a second. They are incredibly good at differentiating between a need and a want. Raj actually shares an example of telling his dad to get a better phone to grow his business, or to buy a better shirt to look more presentable in meetings. And his dad's response? No, I don't need it right now. Older generations know exactly what constitutes an essential upgrade, but look at our generation. We tend to completely disguise our material wants as absolute necessities. We convince ourselves, oh, I can't start making content because I don't have the absolute latest iPhone or a massive PC setup. Or we complain, I need a brand new bike because otherwise how will I even commute to the office? We literally stall our own progress by complaining about small things we don't have, confusing luxury upgrades with baseline necessities.
So how do we actually fix this mindset? Well, Renge offers this beautifully simple, practical exercise. Grab a physical piece of paper and just draw a line right down the middle. On the left side, write down your absolute needs, like the things that are strictly essential for you to move forward in life, the stuff where, without them, nothing can happen. Then on the right side, list your wants. These are the nice-to-haves, the things where you can honestly look at them and say, if I had this, sure, it would be better, but I can totally survive without it. Physically writing this out forces your brain to clearly differentiate between the two, and it strips away those excuses holding you back. Moving on to Section 2, fixing your own red flags, turning the mirror inward. You know, we spend so much of our year looking outward, don't we? Gossiping about other people's flaws, pointing out the red flags in a guy, a girl, a friend, or a colleague. But it is time to turn the mirror inward. I want you to answer this honestly in your own head right now. What is your biggest red flag? Not your boss's, not your partner's, yours. It's a really uncomfortable question, isn't it? But identifying this is absolutely crucial for your personal growth.
Raj shared a deeply personal anecdote to really illustrate this. He admitted that whenever he'd get into arguments with his mom, his dad, his girlfriend, or his brother, he had this terrible habit. After just 10 minutes of arguing, he would say, "Stop it, let's talk tomorrow, I need to sleep, I need to leave." He would literally just shut the entire conversation down. Well, during one of these fights, his brother finally called him out. He told Raj to just look at himself, pointing out that Raj never listened or even tried to understand anyone else's perspective. And man, that was a massive wake-up call. Raj realized that was his huge red flag, a complete and total failure to listen. Even if the other person's point wasn't fully valid, they were at least trying to communicate, and he was just cutting them off. By acknowledging that red flag, he decided to fix it, making sure that the next time an argument happened, he'd strive to make the situation better rather than just selfishly walking away.
Section 3. Conquering decision paralysis. Start small.
Listen, we are facing a full-on modern epidemic here, having way too many choices and absolutely no idea how to make big life decisions. I mean, neither our schools nor our colleges taught us how to actually decide things. And this brilliantly illustrates the problem. 86%. That is the percentage of Gen Z that reportedly suffers from menu anxiety. Just think about that for a second. We go to a restaurant, we open a menu with too many options, and we literally get anxious about what to order. We have so many choices, so many voices, and so many options around us that we just freeze. And when it comes to the big life decisions, we get so confused we start asking the wrong people for advice, which just muddies the waters even further. So the solution to this paralysis is to train your brain like a muscle. You have to start making small decisions immediately. Stop agonizing over what color clothes to wear today. Don't spend an hour scrolling through streaming platforms figuring out what movie or TV show to watch. Don't overthink which restaurant to go to. Just decide. By firmly and quickly making these tiny daily choices, you're actively training your brain's decision-making faculties. You're building the mental framework required so that when life throws those massive, high-stakes choices at you later,
You won't freeze up. You'll be ready.
Section 4, the 1-minute rule. Kill procrastination.
Okay, let's look at how this builds into conquering our to-do lists with a rapid-fire, highly actionable daily habit. Here's the rule. If a task takes less than 1 minute to complete, do it immediately. Seriously, do not put it off until tomorrow. Raj gives some really relatable everyday examples. Say your mom asks you to recharge the TV or internet, or your dad asks you to pay the electricity bill online. Maybe you need to book a routine blood test, or it's just sending an OTP or a quick text approval. We always catch ourselves saying, oh, I'll do it tonight, or I'll do it later. But what actually happens? You delay a 1-minute blood test booking for 6 months, you forget the bill, and suddenly your dad is hit with late fines, or your mom's TV gets completely shut off. These tiny, insignificant delays compound into massive inconveniences for yourself and for the people around you. So if it takes less than 60 seconds, finish it right then and there.
Section 5, embracing the stuck phase. The loneliness of growth.
Now, let's shift the tone slightly because we really need to acknowledge the emotional toll of ambition. When you're pushing yourself hard in your 20s, it is incredibly common to feel isolated. You might hit a phase where you just feel entirely stuck. You start questioning if what you're doing is right. You feel lonely. You wonder if you're just being selfish. Your old friends probably don't understand the stage you're in anymore, and you haven't yet reached the level to meet the new peers you're aspiring to connect with. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. Feeling this way is not a sign of failure, not at all. It is just an uncomfortable but incredibly necessary period of growth. Every single successful person endures this exact phase. It means you aren't doing anything wrong. In fact, you should just keep doing exactly what got you to this point, because those are the very habits that are going to carry you through to the other side. It is perfectly okay to feel stuck.
And finally, Section 6, daily fixes and helping others. The ultimate goal. This is the ultimate goal of our playbook, where we really focus on daily course correction. Now, if you're perfectly happy with exactly where you are in life, you can just skip this. But if you know you're meant for more, you need a nightly diagnostic system. Before bed, just sit down and ask yourself 3 things. Step 1, where do I actually need to reach? Like, what is my ultimate goal? Step 2, what actions did I miss today that would have gotten me closer to that goal? And step 3, how do I plan tomorrow to bridge that gap? Honestly, identifying what you failed to do today and actively correcting it for tomorrow is the single greatest catalyst for improving your life's trajectory.
But as you improve that trajectory, we have to pull back and look at the bigger picture. We live in a culture entirely obsessed with self-help. I mean, there are literally millions of books, articles, and online resources entirely dedicated to the question of how do I help myself? How do I achieve more for me? Yet, there is a glaring lack of resources teaching us how to help others. How do we uplift our friends, our viewers, our customers, our own family members? True progress for your community, your society, and your country doesn't just come from millions of individuals only looking out for themselves. It comes when those individuals learn how to effectively pull others up with them.
Which brings us to the end of our explainer, and I want to leave you with a really powerful, provocative thought. We all spend so much time figuring out how to help ourselves, but ask yourself, how will you help someone else today? It's a real game changer and a skill we all need to actively practice and learn together. Let that question guide your actions as you step away from this explainer today. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll catch you next time.